Today I'm going to take these acrylic ornament blanks from AT Blanks Australia, use my engraving tool for the very first time to create these cute Christmas name tags. Let's make this! My inspiration for this is really just that engraving tool. I really want to try it out. So I've had a look at different Christmas decorations and different acrylic applications of the engraving tool, and you can see here there's a number of different ways. There's people who have used colour in their engraving. There's people who have left it without the colour, but I really think that having a go at this is something that I've probably waited too long to do. So let's get into it. So the materials we need for this project are very, very minimal. We've got a strong grip mat. Definitely need the strong grip mat. I've got these ornament blanks from AT Blanks Australia. I've got the engraving tip. So you can see that it's just got that little cone shape, and you can see that it's number 41. So make sure that that's the tip you're using. And then also we just need some masking tape. Now this is to hold your ornaments down onto your strong grip mat. We're going to do our whole project in Design Space today. So I'm going to go up to the right hand side and I'm going to click on New Project. And then I'm going to start by creating a shape. Now our ornaments are a circle shape. So I'm going to do a circle. Now our ornaments are 8 centimeters. So I've just changed the size to 8 centimeters, and I'm just making it white, just so that from a visual perspective I can see what it's going to look like. Now we're going to use a font that I used last week, 2 weeks ago in the personalized ribbon tutorial. It is called Hello Christmas Icon Trial, and what it is a series of icons that are all Christmas related. So I've gone through already and had a look at what letters I would like to use. Now, the wreath is a Q. If you weren't sure which ones you wanted to use, what you could do is at this point just type the whole alphabet out, and then you could then just copy and paste. I think the capital letters and the lowercase letters are pretty well the same, but you might want to just have a look if you're looking for a particular icon, but I feel like they're pretty similar. So anyway, I've got my wreath, and then the next thing I want to do is create a text with it names. So these are going to be plate decorations or name cards kind of thing that are going to go on our plates at Christmas time. So I want our names to be engraved on them. To start with, I'm going to go through the Cricut writing text. So I'm going to click on the Cricut component of the menu, and I've gone to the right hand side to filter, and I've gone to free, and I've gone to writing. Now, I don't love them. There's a lot. I think if I was a member, there's probably hundreds. But like, look at this. What is this? What's ginger snap? I don't understand these little circles on the left-hand side. They're not there in the example. And this Carly sketch, ooh, not for me. I don't know. Look, if you're someone who uses them, great. But I just don't understand. So I think Merlot's as close as Christmassy as I would like to be. But I reckon I've got something that would be probably more suited to Christmas. So I'm going to use the Mona Lisa font. Now we used the Mona Lisa font when we made the teacher bookmark. It's the font that over the eye is a little heart. And I think it's really cute. So this is my name. I'm going to start with mine. But you can see here that when you have it as a writing font, it overlaps, and we don't want that. So while it's selected, I've just gone down to Combine and Unite, and you can see there that now they've all disappeared. I'm clicked on the wreath, and I need to change that to Engrave. Now, in the perfect world, I also should have changed Anita to engrave, but you'll see on the right hand side that it's still at draw. This will cause me a problem a little bit later, but I'm going to tell you now, make sure that you also turn your name to engrave. Okay? Then I want you to attach. Now, we're going to attach the name as well as the icon to this project. And then I want you to duplicate. Now I'm going to duplicate these over again, and I'm going to do one for each of the people who are going to be at our house for Christmas. So we've got, over the course of Christmas, we're going to have 6 people. Well, Juniper's included in our 6 people. So I'm going to make 6 of these. Now, you just need to think about resizing your text depending on how many letters are in each of the names. And when you want to unite, you need to, I think when you first type it, it's not going to be united, but when you open up that attachment and click on it, you'll find that it is united. Again, if you can remember, make sure you turn all of the text as well as the icons to engrave. I'm going to speed this up so that you get the gist of the project. Now, Juniper is a tricky one. The reason is because the font that I've used, so this Mona Lisa font, has a little glitch. And the little glitch is that when you type an E and an R, they disappear. So the people at daycare call Juniper Junie. So we're going to have Junie as her name on this instead of Juniper, because the ER just disappears, and I don't know why. You look at it and the ER's there. You'd have to delete the ER, but it doesn't appear in the imagery. Weird glitch to have, but that's what's happened. So just sometimes you might find that those little glitches happen. You're downloading free fonts. Sometimes people make a little mistake, and I don't know why. They may also do it so that you don't try and sell things using their fonts. I don't know, but yeah, it's a weird little glitch. So it's just going to be Junie. Now, on my first run through, I got rid of all of the circles, and then I went to make. And when I went to make, I then tried to position all of my engraving where my baubles should be. It was very time consuming. This process took me about 20 minutes to work out how I was going to do this the most effective way. So to start off with, I sticky taped down all of the ornaments to a strong grip mat. And then I thought, I'm just going to maneuver all of these names so that they fit on the mat perfectly. I hit a snag when I wasn't sure if particularly the large J, and I think, it was actually Juniper's that was going to be the biggest problem, because I wasn't sure if the star from the tree and the J were actually going to fit on the circle. Logically, they would, but I wasn't sure how I was positioned. And then I realised I actually needed the circles to appear on the mat to help me with my alignment. So I went back and I attached a circle to each of my text, in the hope, with the understanding in my head that what you could do once you got it onto the mat was to then delete the circles. Great idea, you all think, but no. Reason it's not a great idea is because you can't unattach when you're in the make section. So you can remove items, but what it did was remove the whole item. So it removed the circle as well as the text as well as the image, the icon. So my final solution was to just have one circle on its own, as well as all of the text, and then move the circle around, place the text in the circle, then move the circle to the next spot. So I went through my mat, I stuck all of my ornaments onto the mat, and then I moved the circle to where the ornament was on the mat. Then I moved the text onto the circle. Then I moved the circle to the next spot, moved the next text on there. So again, I've gone through, I've made all of the mistakes that needed to be made, and I've come out the other side with the perfect solution for you. So don't delete all your circles, delete all but one. Make sure that all of your text and all of your icons are set to engrave operation. And then you just need to move your circle to your engraved mat. Place your circle in the spots where you've got your ornaments on your mat. And then place your text. Then hit continue. So you can see I've got some that are upside down and some that are facing up the right way. The reason I've got some that are facing upside down is because when I still hadn't worked out that if I just had the circle there, I was trying to maneuver each of these ornaments, and I wanted to make sure that the bottom of each ornament was sitting against an edge. So then it would be easier for me to position my, not an edge, a line. So it would be easier for me to position all of my text. So instead of pulling it all up and then lining it up a bit better, this is why some of them are upside down and some are right way up. Then when I go to continue, you just need to then select the material that you are engraving. Now in this case, we are doing acrylic. So you go to browse all materials, and it will actually, because you've got an engrave as the only option, you'll see that all of the materials that the Cricut will engrave are all there. So those ornaments are 2 millimeters, which is the thickest that a Cricut will engrave. And it tells you to load the engrave tool. It has a number on it. And the engrave tool is number 41. So you don't have to panic about, oh, what is it? What do I remember? What do I have to do to know that this one's an engrave tool, this one's a deep cut or a rotary tool or any of those things? It does have a number on there that helps you to identify the tool that you need. So just for placement, you need to obviously remove the top layer of the covering that acrylic blanks come with. That's there to protect the ornament from scratching. Now, essentially, engraving is scratching. So you need to make sure that you have removed that before you start the process. And now this, when I've been sticking these ones down, this is before I decided on my placement in Design Space. So these will get moved around, but essentially the process is essentially the same. I, in the end, made sure that I lined it up with the lines rather than an edge. So you can see there that I've got the top of the bauble at the very top of my mat. But what I eventually will do is actually move it so it's along the line of around about 10 centimeters. And then it will hit each of those inch lines on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. But once I've placed them all down, the next step is just to use masking tape to give it that reinforcement. If you don't, this might pop off the mat, because regardless of how strong it is, if you have used it at least once, you are losing stickiness as the days progress. It could be because of the weather. It could be because, I don't know, there's a little bit of grease or something on the backing that's there that you didn't notice and it's come from the manufacturer. So make sure that you use that masking tape to stick them down as well. Just a little tip too, I would keep the masking tape away from the area that you're going to be engraving, just in case it can't engrave through that masking tape, because the masking tape acts as a barrier as well. So you can see on these ornaments that I've actually gone along the top edge where the bauble hangs out, or the actual hole is, and then just some of the, just some of those edges. So maybe just be careful about where you're putting that masking tape. Now you're just going to put the engraving tool in that class B if you've got a Maker 3. So you can see again, it's that engraving, it's that little cone shaped one, it's the number 43. So all you're going to do is put it into that B clamp, make sure that you've put it in right down, and then you just clamp it back up. I've just moved those white rings right to the left side and all the way to the right side, just so that they don't run over it. I'm not sure if that is a thing you've got to do, but I just thought with the acrylic being as thick as is allowed, I thought maybe having those rollers trying to go over that acrylic might cause a bit of problem. If you have knowledge otherwise, please let us know in the comments below. I thought this engraving process was going to take ages, and I walked away, left my time lapse going, and then came back and it was all finished. But what I did do is I did it a second time. The reason I did that is just because I just thought maybe a little bit of extra engraving might just make that stand out a little bit more. So I did do a second run of it, but I did wipe it down with like a paintbrush or something before I did the second one, in case any of that acrylic dust, I suppose it's not sawdust, it's acrylic dust, got caught up and kind of ruined the design. So it's just a matter to remove them from the mat. It's just a matter of getting the sticky tape off. As you can see, the strong grip mat that I've used was very strong because I couldn't get the sticky tape off. But they just really just pop off the mat once you've removed all your sticky tape. And then you just need to give them another little clean down to make sure you've gotten rid of any of those dusty bits. And I use the scraper to lift off the ornaments and the sticky tape just to get under there and make sure that it was nice and clean. Once I've removed the backing, now I'm just going to use this red chiffon ribbon that I got from Shein. I used this in our teacher bookmark tutorial and asked people to tell me if they can find this anywhere in Australia. I haven't heard from anyone yet. So if you do know the answer to that, please let us know in the comments below. So I'm not sure. I had a few plays around with this to see how I was going to attach this ribbon. I tried the bow, but I felt the bow covered too much of that work that we've done with the engraving. So I'm doing the old loop through the back and then letting our ribbon trail. Now, you can see there that I always have trouble remembering whether I'm supposed to feed the ribbon from the back or feed the ribbon from the front. So I'm here to tell you now, exclusive for Honey Neats Made This, you feed the ribbon from the front of the hole to the back, and then you get that nice flat finish at the front rather than the V finish. So if you wanted the V finish at the front, then that's fine. I just find it a little bit neater if you've got that flatter finish at the front. And then you just need to pull it through. And it's kind of covered up the little hole and the little dongly thing, I suppose, that hangs out the top of your ornament. And then look at that. Now, the reason I used a black backing on this is just so you could see the engraving better on the screen. But I think they look really cute. Look at how, I don't know, I think they stand out. I think they do the job. Now, I've thought about also connecting them to make them an ornament, and you could do that and you could tie them as well. So I've thought about gluing them, hot glue, I've thought about tying them, but I'm just going to use, I think a really good way of using these is for table settings. So I'm going to put one of these on each of the plates of the guests we've got for Christmas. And it's kind of like a little take-home gift, but it also, helps with who's sitting where and all of that kind of fun stuff that we do at Christmas that we never do at any other time of the year. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to, see, I don't like the tie as much. I don't know. If anyone knows how to make that chiffon ribbon look good for this kind of application, let me know in the comments below, because I don't know if hot glue would make it look better, but I just don't like the tie at the top. I think it just looks daggy. So let me know in the comments below. I'm just going to speed up. So proud of myself. This is the first time I've used the Engrave tool. I bought this actually last Christmas with a Spotlight voucher, and I have weirdly had this, I don't know, it wasn't a phobia, but I was a little bit worried about what it would do and how it would look. And you know what? I wish I hadn't have been so scared about it. Now, the one thing that I'm going to do is I'm using these on white plates. So if I put one of these down on a white plate, it looks great on the black, but if I put it down on a white plate, you kind of lose the engraved effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to colour these in with a green texture. I've seen this on a few other TikToks or YouTube clips, and all I've got is just a texture or a marker from Spotlight, and I'm just going to colour in all of the text with green, and then I'm just going to wipe them off. I'm going to wipe them off firstly with some paper towel, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to use a clear wipe, which you use on your glasses. So you could use a microfiber cloth and a little bit of spray, I guess, as well. But I found that those glasses wipes are really good because they don't get into any of the crevices, where I feel like if you maybe used a spray, the spray would go into the crevices that your engraver has created, and maybe it might lift it a little bit. So I'm going to speed that process up and let's see what the final result will be. Oh, I definitely think I made the right decision here with the colouring for a white plate. Look at how it pops off the white background here. And it just actually goes really well with that red. So it's a very traditional looking ornament now because we've got the green, the red, and it'll have that white background. But gosh, they're cute. I really love them. I'm really happy with this, and I don't know why I waited so long to do these, but I think you should really all have a go at them because I think they're great. What a great little project. Whether you keep the engraving without the colour or you add it, I think this is a fantastic way of trying out some new tools on your Cricut machine. Like I said, I waited way too long. It's turned out to be that easy that I think I feel a little bit silly for not trying out this engraving tool. It just takes making sure that you get the right thickness for your acrylic, and it really is endless possibilities as to what you can do with this. So have a go, have a try, and I can't wait to see what your Christmas acrylic ornaments look like. See you next week for another Christmassy Honey Neats Made This. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, you can always jump on my Instagram, head over to my Etsy store, or even check out the videos YouTube recommends for you down below. See you next time.